Today's kit is a seasonal riff on one of our most overpowered Titan kits. It's got AoE on tap, so it's going to suit our game modes like Nightfalls and Onslaught. And it's all thanks to the new Blastwave Striders exotic booties. These give us a damage resist to our own explosives. This makes it safer to operate our rocket launchers, rocket sidearms, and grenade launchers in close proximity. Parasite anyone? Bungo has already reduced the self damage taken with it, so with these booties we can douse ourselves in that worm juice. I think though these booties' intended target was for those rocket jumpers. After defeating 10 targets we charge an armor bar. Once charged we can slide or deal explosive damage to rocket jump backwards, shooting out 8 medium crystals in a 100-degree fan in front of us. At first when I laced these boots up I felt somewhat underwhelmed, but when you do come familiar with them, you can learn to use the environment for better placement of them. For example, these crystals don't appear to have all that much range drop off. In Onslaught I could spawn these crystals cross map, so I try and always attack on an incline rather than a decline. If trying to get maximum crystal damage on a single target, try and utilize walls, stairs and other objects to concentrate crystals, as each of these do about 50k damage. The boots give us around a 75% damage reduction to our own explosive damage, but on top of that, when we use a charged rocket jump attack, we gain 5 stacks of frost armor for 10 seconds and a 22% damage resist. Now these icicles are great air control and killers. Equip Hail of the Storm in the artifact. At standard, these will slow and burst surrounding crystals. When all nosed up, they deal even more damage. Now this kit is somewhat reliant on your weapon selection. Luck so has it, Bungo released its perfect counterpart. The season pass gave us the exotic breachload GL, the Alethanum. This is a primary ammo weapon, much like the Fighting Lion, which luck so has it also got a buff this season as it now has volatile rounds. But I do prefer the Alethanum for several reasons. It fires straighter than a Marine Sheets, much like Mountaintop's micro missile. Its perk Spike Harvester creates vestiges either by killing or dealing repeated damage to a thicker target. These spikes do damage over time for bonus damage and a delayed rocket jump. Additionally, these delayed explosions actually fuel our boots bar without the need of getting a kill, so we can still charge our boots whilst taking on a boss. These vestiges are going to create us a charge. It's got 2 parts. Once we reach that first half, we long press reload and our next shot will create a special ammo brick. If we max out the bar, we can create a heavy brick. You'll know which you've selected as the sights glow green for special and purple for heavy. I imagine when we get the catalyst it's possible to reduce the amount of vestiges required, as currently we need 11 kills to get a special brick and 21 for a heavy. But by its very nature it is a very comfy double special kit of sorts. Personally I'd love to get Rhyme Stealer on it, similar to the Liturgy, so we can make more frost armor for ourselves. In seasons past I've not quite been behind the notion of Fighting Lion primary weapon style, as I kinda hate the constant reloads. But with rapid impacts in the artifact, it feels snappy, and I feel confident bouncing around the map popping shots off. And we pair it with Concussive to debuff with Weaken. Now I never thought I was going to recommend our next weapon, but I legit had tons of fun with the Witch Queen's Tarnation. Its perks weren't relevant at the time, and rapid GLs had been terrible in the past for the longest time. That said, our rapids now hit harder than a lot of our adapters. It's got pulse monitor to keep my mag topped up, and with Danger Zone I can pretty much point blank a boss in red bar health and that needle barely makes a move. As Blastwaves activate by rocket jumps and slides, I pulled out my Crux Termination with Slide Shot Bipod. Very fun combo as it keeps me in the hunt and throws out AoE. This kit is also going to work well with our rocket sidearms like Indebted Kindness. We won't be rocket jumping as high as the Mountaintops, but it does work. Me though, I'm sticking with a trusty shoddy with holster mods to blat those champs into dust. I was originally going to make this a Cryoclasm slide build, as these will also activate our crystal disbursement on slides, but it just made so much more sense to pair it with our already overpowered Consecration Slam. It's got the slide as its initial part of attack. It spews out ice, we slam down to ignite and shatter. With Facet of Ruin, we increase both our shatter and ignitions. It's a match made in heaven. With our Frenzied Blades giving us those 3 melee charges, I can abuse this melee like the first week I learned to jerk it. Knockout increases our melee range and damage, and defeating heals and amplify. I'm triple downing on my heals, as in GM level content. 2 hits by anything is pretty much a death sentence, so we want to get those full heals on kills. Blessing will trigger health gen on melee kills, and whilst Transcendent, this can also heal allies. I'm running Heavy Handed to make Orbs of Power on melee kills, and Recuperation will give us a bump in health when we pick these up, so Facet of Blessing has less work to do. Facet of Protection is a must. This gives us 15% damage resist whilst surrounded, and this will jump to 33% whilst we are Transcendent. Purpose is responsible for our damage resist and healing options. I'm maining the Glacial Quake. We've got Stasis Surges primarily this season, and it's hands down the strongest damage super against any landlocked target. So with this super, we'll have access to Frost Armor on our orb pickups at 5 stacks. That's an additional 22.5% damage resist. I'm running one with Frost in the artifact. When we have Frost Armor, our stasis weapons have increased reload and stability, making that Alethanum even saucier. My last fragment is Balance. We get rapid light kills, we get more melee juice. Darkness damage, more grenade juice. We want to balance out our elements as we don't have a kinetic weapon. The Alethanum tops up dark pretty quickly, so I would recommend running an arc pulse grenade to tie those together. Feel free to pause here for all my mods, artifact and fragments, but there will be a dim link in the description down below. I do really like this exotic, but as 90% of the Titan community out there loves spamming consecrations, we have to ask ourselves, would you rather more AoE or more power? We won't fully know till we get to run the gauntlet of the new GMs coming out shortly, but I'll be trying this kit first, as it rocks AoE, can play support, and rocket jumping's fun. But let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Thumb it if you dug it, sub if you're new, and as always, tippy tie my damies, what a tie.